Bonjour, bonjour, and welcome to lesson 11, which is also the first one in module 2. So today we're going to look at the alphabet and asking someone how to spell words. That can be a very useful skill, especially if you need to take down the name of a street, the name of a hotel. It's sometimes difficult to understand over the phone, so you may want to be sure and ask people to spell the name of the street or the name of the hotel. So we're going to enable you to do just that. Also, don't forget to check our French Ignition website. We run French conversation groups and it's really cool. If you want to meet new people, speak French, this is the place to go. So we hope to see you soon there. Okay, let's get started. So the alphabet, we start with A. A is A. A. You're so happy to start the alphabet that you go A, A. Then B is B, B, B. C is C, C, C. D is D, D, D. So you notice a pattern emerging here. You start with A, you're so happy to start the alphabet A. Then you've got what I call the D-Day letters. All the letters that end in E in English, and they're the same letters but ending in A in French. B, B, C, C, D, D. D-Day is really easy to remember, so think of them. All the E letters end in A. D-Day letters. Then you're not too sure. So after you've got your last D-Day letter, you're not too sure. So you're hesitating. When you hesitate, that's what you do. Okay, so that's the sound of the letter Then after that, it's easy. F, just like in English. G in English, so it's kind of a D-Day letter. It's G in French, but you don't pronounce, it's not an accentuated J. It's J, G, G, G. H. Now at this stage, you're struggling a bit with the alphabet, so that's when you phone a friend. And to phone a friend, guess what? You press the hash key. So H is the letter H. H. E. So you need to be careful with that one. E, a bit different from the English. E. Then we've got G. They rhyme. E and G rhyme. E, G. Then K. After that, it's easy. L, just like in English. M, similar. N, O. And then we've got P, another D-Day letter. P would be, yes, you've guessed, P. Then Q. Then R. We've done so many letters, we'll be glad to get some R. R. S, just like in English. Oh, another D-Day letter, T. So that would be T. U. U, slightly different from the English. Here it's U. Then V, it's another D-Day letter, V, V. Then W, the French look at it not as a double U, but a double V. And as a matter of fact, it looks much more like a double V than it does a double U. So it's a double V, W, W. Then we've got X, X, Y, which is nothing else but a Greek I. I is I, Greek, Y. And the last one, Z. So let's start again. We are happy to start the alphabet. We've got A, then we've got a series of D letters. B, C, D. Not too sure after that, so we go and that's our next letter. Next one is easy, the same as English. F. Another D letter coming up with a bit of an adjustment. G in English, G. Then we're not too sure, it's time to phone a friend. Let's press the hash key on our phone. Hash, that's the one. E, so watch out for that one. We rhyme J, K, a series of easy letters because they're the same after that. L, M, N, O, another D letter, P, Q, oh, let's get some R, S, another D letter, T, U, another D letter, V, a double V, W, X, Y, and Z. Okay, there are some vowel sounds in French that you have to watch out for. You have to watch out for A because the sound is different in English and in French. When you see that letter in French, that's going to change the sound of the word accordingly. So, for example, sac, un sac. Remember we saw that one, a bag, un sac, not sac because A is pronounced A, so sac. Un lac, a lake, lac, A is pronounced A. Is another letter, vowel, you've got to watch out for. Remember that's a very weak sound in the middle of a word. It's often dropped when we're talking, as in ce, this. Regarde, watch or look, regarde. And finally, I, the letter I, which is pronounced I in French. So, Irlande, Italien. So watch out for this because they're quite different from the English. When you're pronouncing words as well in French, there are letters that you do not pronounce if they are at the end of words. For example, S. S, by and large, with a few exceptions, but by and large is a mark of the plural. It's an optional marking, so you don't pronounce it. For example, sac, I've put that word in the plural with an S. I do not pronounce the S. Sac. Lac, again, I've put an S at the end to make it plural, lakes, but I do not pronounce the S. X, which is also a mark of plural in some words that end in O, such as oiseau, animaux. And T, by and large, is also a letter that you don't pronounce when it's at the end of word. Avocat, remember avocat, lawyer? Petit, small. But if I were to add an I at the end to make it feminine, then I would sound the T because it's no longer the last letter of the word. But here, if it's the last one, avocat, petit. I do not pronounce it. Now, I've introduced here a wee parenthesis. It's a point that came up with some work that people give me back on masculine and feminine. And I've decided to introduce it here to give you some additional information about it. Because remember when we're trying to say what nationality objects are, we've got different choices and we've got to select between masculine, feminine, and plural. So des pâtes, pasta. Remember that pasta is always plural in French. It always have an S in the end because we're talking about pastas. But obviously, if you could have one pasta in your plate, so that would be une pâte. So it could very well be in the singular. But here we've got it in the plural. So if we want to say in Italian pastas, are we going to choose Italien, masculine singular, Italien, masculine plural, Italienne, feminine singular, or Italienne, feminine plural? Well, we know that des pâtes is plural, so we can straight away eliminate all the singular versions. So we eliminate Italien, which is the masculine singular, and Italienne, which is the feminine singular. We're left with the two plural ones, Italien with an S and Italienne with an S. But which one are we going to use? Because we need to know whether pâte is masculine or feminine. In order to do that, you cannot exactly look at the last letter here because the last letter is an S, but that S, remember, is optional. It's just the plural marking. So in order to work out whether the word is masculine or feminine, you need to discard the S, put it away, and now you look at the last letter and you discover that the last letter is an E, which is one of the feminine endings. So pâte is actually feminine. Therefore, the version that we will keep is the feminine plural, and we get rid of the masculine plural, Italien. We put our S back in, and that gives us des pâtes italiennes. So just wanted to make that we point here because that led to some confusion in some of the exercises that people gave me back. Okay, going back to pronunciation, some sounds to recognize. So we've got a combination of letters that make particular sounds in French. All languages have them. Okay, in English you've got TH, which makes the sound V, which is obviously the one sound that a French person cannot make very well. But in French, we also have combinations of letters that make particular sounds. So A and U together make the sound O, as in show. O and U together make the sound OU, as in jour. Remember, bonjour, good day, jour, day, OU, OU. A and I make the sound E, as in mais. Mais means but. And notice I never pronounce the S at the end. Mais. Okay, and O and I make the sound wa, as in soir, bonsoir. O and I, wa. Okay, now asking someone how to spell something. Let's look at the question. Votre nom, ça s'écrit comment? Votre nom. Nom is last name, your last name. Ça s'écrit comment? So ça s'écrit comment is how is it written? You recognize the S apostrophe in ça s'écrit. Remember, il s'appelle comment? That was a reflexive verb. Here again, écrire is used as a reflexive verb. It writes itself how. Ça s'écrit comment? Let's practice a few times. Ça s'écrit comment? Ça s'écrit comment? Et votre prénom, if you ask someone about their prénom, that's their first name. So, votre nom, your name, your last name, votre prénom, your first name. Ça s'écrit comment? And the answer, ça s'écrit, it writes itself, and then you spell R-A. Ça s'écrit R-A. So here is this gentleman asking you a question. Mon nom et mon prénom, ça s'écrit comment? Now there's a clue in the picture. Find out his first name and his last name and try and spell it. I'll give you a few minutes. So, did you see it on his feet here? You've got le prénom. Mon prénom, ça s'écrit P-A-U-L. Et mon nom, Martin, ça s'écrit M-A-R-T-I-N. Now, this gentleman here is going to ask you a question and you're going to have to answer. Are you ready? Votre nom et votre prénom, ça s'écrit comment? Okay, I hope you've managed to spell your name and your last name and your first name without any problem. And that gets us to the end of the lesson. And let's look at what we're going to do next time. Next time, a simple target, just asking and saying the time. And again, don't forget to check the French Ignition website. Please do give your comments in the comments below. I'm always happy to see what people think of the lessons, if they're helping, if there's anything I should change. But you can also visit the French Ignition website and you can contact me directly through the French Ignition websites. If you want to take part in our French conversation groups, you are more than welcome. We have virtual conversation groups just now, but hopefully we'll soon get back to normal. Ok, à la prochaine!